Today we're here looking at the September 2025 edition of the Australian Signals Directorate Information Security Manual, or the ISM. This update brings several new principles, expanded requirements, and refinements that reflect both the evolving threat landscape and the technologies we're all starting to rely on more heavily, like artificial intelligence and soon, post-quantum cryptography. Let's start with the principles. All cybersecurity principles have been given a shorthand 2 to 3 word descriptions. This is a small but practical change. It makes them easier to reference and apply in day-to-day work. More importantly, a new identity principle has been introduced, IDE01, Asset Identification. This requires organisations to identify and document all their systems, covering cyber supply chains, infrastructure, operating systems, applications, and data. This aligns with the ASD's Foundation 4 on reliable asset inventories. In short, you can't protect what you don't know you have. Within the protect principles, language has shifted from trusted to trustworthy. This isn't just semantics. Trustworthy means that your confidence in a supplier, system, or person must be verifiable. For example, PRO03 now requires organisations to use trustworthy suppliers. And PRO11 calls for trustworthy personnel. Services have also been explicitly added to the least privilege requirements under PRO12, which means that not only staff but also third-party services must operate with minimal access. The detect principles have been clarified. DET01 now focuses on centralised logging for all security relevant event logs and configuration changes, while DET02 requires timely analysis of these logs and changes. The distinction helps organisations better structure how they collect versus how they analyse security information. A new category of principles has been added, recover. The first principle here is REC01, which covers business operation resumptions. It requires organisations to formally accept residual risks before returning to normal operations after an incident. This ensures leadership is accountable for risk decisions during recovery, not just in preparation and response. Now let's talk about physical security. 2 new controls apply specifically to secret and top secret facilities. ISM 2069 requires organisations to maintain a register of authorised photographic and video devices. And ISM 2070 prohibits unauthorised devices from being brought into those areas. These measures reduce risk of espionage or accidental leaks in highly sensitive environments. On personnel security, there's a new control, ISM 2071, that focuses on social engineering at the help desk. Staff who handle account details must be trained to recognise, manage and report suspicious requests, to disclose or change accounts. This recognises that attackers often exploit human weaknesses, and frontline staff like call centre or help desk teams are prime targets. Software development guidance continues to expand, especially around artificial intelligence. ISM 1924, which previously focused on large language models, now covers all generative AI applications, with the emphasis on preventing unattended or harmful behaviour. In addition, ISM 2072 requires that AI models be stored in file formats that don't allow arbitrary code execution. This addresses risks of poisoned or malicious AI model files being introduced through supply chain. Cryptography is another major focus. Several existing controls, such as ISM 0457 and ISM 0465, now require the use of ASD-endorsed protection profiles for cryptographic equipment, applications, and libraries, rather than just any common criteria certification. This is about raising assurance levels and aligning with national standards. And looking ahead, ISM 2073 introduces the requirement for organisations to develop and maintain a post-quantum cryptography transition plan. With quantum computing on the horizon, this pushes organisations to begin planning for the inevitable shift. Finally, a few refinements. Across multiple controls, the wording has been updated from trusted to trustworthy, reinforcing that verification is essential. Other small edits were made for consistency without changing the intent. In summary, the September 2025 ISM updates strengthen Australia's cybersecurity posture by tightening language, clarifying principles, and preparing organisations for both current and future challenges. The key takeaways? Know your assets, verify your trust, train your people, secure your AI, and start planning for the quantum future. Thank you, and stay secure.